Guys, we didn't do anything. It wasn't us. It was Brackenfell. We are not even part of that school. I'm just saying.
Hey.
So anyway, for everyone that just joined us right now, it is the deep end, and you're currently tuned in to ilovemarvel.live. And we are actually having fun today. We're going to be talking about Mabena moments. We're going to start with Ace Magashule. Let's start talking about that guy. The warrant of arrest is out now.
Yeah.
225 million rand.
Life is la vida for that man.
He's living la vida.
No, he's living la vida. Thinking about it, man. This guy's at the top. He's like Snoop Dogg, plush seats.
Yeah.
So you can't touch him.
Yeah.
They've already asked, the public have asked to actually get rid of lower ranking members than him himself. And you know that ANC has come back and they've said
because that needs to be a new song.
Nothing has been done. They say they're getting to it, but nothing's been done. Now you want to go and tell Ace Mfowethu, we need you to evacuate your seat. Because we need to investigate you.
But I'm afraid of that guy. I'm afraid of even speaking about that. That guy's a mafia, man. Like, I feel like I need to even hide my face. Hey. Why we even have this thing on cameras also? We need to take this thing out on cameras.
Because we're really talking reckless about it, and we're on camera, right?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about the situation? This guy took 200 million, so much money, right? And then he had the audacity to come on TV and tell people that, yo, look, I haven't done anything wrong. I'm a law-abiding citizen. And then he still had people who pay tax, who lost money, which he took, who stood right next to him, were like, yo, look, this man ain't done nothing wrong. This man is a good man. Let this man go, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe we're at fault here. Maybe the people also like letting him slide after he took tax money. Maybe we're all at fault. Maybe we should all follow this man
and go his way also.
I gotta add. On top is his song, his favorite song. You've heard his favorite song. It's the You're a Sellout.
You're a Sellout.
Yeah.
Who is it directed to?
Apparently it's directed to my president. My president. Ramaphosa. I stand with that man because he's a businessman.
That guy.
He's a businessman. He's not a guerrilla.
I agree. I agree.
He's not a soldier.
I agree.
South Africans, we are so used to having a guerrilla, a soldier, a person who still thinks that he's out there in the bush. What we need is a businessman.
That's what we need. We need a businessman in terms of everything that we are currently doing. And you know what? To Uncle Cyril, they call him AKA Baba Cake. Baba Cupcake. Hey man, the ladies call him Cupcake. They call him Cupcake. Oh, he's Nunus. Listen to her. It's so Nunus.
Okay, speaking about Ramaphosa, what has he done so far in regards to this situation as the president?
Okay, you know what? First of all, the only thing that I know that he has done is that he has pushed a lot of this state capture thing. Like, he's the one that's like, okay, guys, we need to go find, like, ANC. He sees that ANC right now is losing votes. It's losing confidence also. And the best way for him to help around that, I mean, this is like a PR stunt also. I mean, if he's a businessman also, it could be a PR stunt because that's what businessmen do. But what he has done, he has tried to be pushing rather this anti-corruption thing. But with the Ace situation, I
need to get in here.
Get in.
My man.
Yeah, talk to me.
First of all,
cookies and cream.
Every single person in this country has got a problem.
Okay.
When it was Zuma, hey, we've got a problem. Hey, this guy's wrong. Blah 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 blah. Then we had the State of the Nation when Ramaphosa said, "I have a dream.
Okay.
I see this."
Oh my God!
Everybody was
wait, guys. This is so unconventional. So this is the deep end, by the way, as you guys would know. It's so unconventional. They're coming to take the land again. It's Marabian Kamara. But you're going to go fix the house, Akir?
Yes.
Thank you, girl. When I get back to that house, it must be fixed. If that ceiling is still open, someone's getting fired.
That will be you.
Yeah, man.
So I'm saying, we all got a problem. I've got a dream. Everybody's outside Parliament saying, man, this man has lost his mind.
Yeah.
We are so used to being fed rubbish. That we are so comfortable with that we expected, that we wanted.
I like how you just put it, that we are comfortable with that rubbish.
You know, and then as soon as we get something totally different, then everybody's like, what is the Ramaphosa thinking? It's like, this man, he's so nice and patient. He's running this country like a Fortune 500.
Fortune 500. Speak of 500.
So are you telling me you're satisfied with the way everything is going in the country?
No, the thing is that I can't say that I'm satisfied or disappointed.
Yeah.
Because it's a brand new ball game. This is so new to me that it's like I'm getting surprised a little bit here and there. It's like there's a man who speaks sense.
Yeah.
There's a man who's trying to do something. He's actually out there in the public, trying to push something. And even though that he's not there the way that I want him to be,
or the way we want him to be.
We want him to be. But it's a different style. It's something totally different. It's something new. It's something that we should actually embrace and actually sit down and say, hold up, let's give the man a chance.
Give him a chance.
We gave Zuma 2 terms, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and we complained the whole way. Black, white, Indian, colored, even the dolphins were complaining. So, you know,
I heard them. I heard them also.
I
heard them.
They were all complaining. But we gave him 2 terms. Let's give this man a chance. Let's see what he can bring up. It's something totally new. If he's rubbish, he's rubbish, because we know how to complain. He'll pack his own bags, bro. He'll be like,
true.
Buffett, get sharp. Union building, have the
and speaking about president that are basically packing their bags when they see that they're being beat. And you know what, we'll dive back into this conversation with Cyril also. I just want people to just get in a touch of the deep end right now. The deep end, by the way, for those who don't know, this show was actually conceived now. This show was concocted now. These presenters were chosen now. These topics were chosen now. You would swear that we prepared for this show.
You would swear everything was all dandy, all written down, but no, it's just some really talented people.
Talented individuals. About it last night. We just telepathically sent it to each other.
Exactly, it was the universe. So speaking about that, I want to teleport something. I had a chat. We were on Melville Street, and we had a chat with a lovely lady by the name of Jade, all the way from Nebraska, who was telling us about the situation in America. Papa Alin, your daddy, Peanut Head and Orange Head, and I don't know. I'm running out of nicknames to call this guy. This guy is not taking this defeat quite well.
Are you talking about the 45th president of the United States of America?
The 45th president of the United States of America. You know,
Mr. Donald Trump.
You know what's like it's the voting elections that just happened right now. All wrong.
Tato, I'm gonna disturb you a little bit.
Do that.
There was a tweet that I saw yesterday on my TL, because I go through Twitter like it's my newspaper, right?
Yeah, no, but that is kind of like a newspaper to your Twitter.
He has a right-hand man, right? Donald Trump has a right-hand man who forgot to switch out of his burner account. So he had a account that he made with a black face and all of that, and it was talking about how he's a gay man in America, and Barack Obama never did anything good for him during his time, and this guy forgot to switch out of his account, his real account. So he tweeted all of that about him being black and gay and whatever. People were like, yo, bro, you're tweeting from the wrong account. You're kind of slender, a man who doesn't exist anymore. And it just shows that this man's whole team was just out there to pass on bad messages, just a whole team of propaganda. And now he doesn't want to leave.
You know what scares me the most about these elections in the US? Everybody knows. Well, I can't say that everybody knows, but it's like everybody assumes, or the majority that I've noticed, like, I know Trump is this, Trump is that, he's not great. It's not great news. But look at the polls. Look at the amount of people that are voting for him. That means there is something seriously wrong out there. In my opinion, that it wasn't like a runaway election for Biden that, hey, he won by a landslide. He didn't. He was like neck and neck. Now think about what kind of people are voting for. That's what people should actually open their eyes and actually notice. And that's a scary thing. And I think that's something that I've voiced so many times during the course of last week, also as I was doing the show. So if you guys would go through the Unconventional Breakfast Show, and you would see it, like, so much to the point that people say that I must learn how to keep quiet. I've received emails. And calls. They told you to
keep quiet. Like I've been told to keep quiet. I'm like, you can't tell me to keep quiet. It's my platform. I can do whatever I want.
Welcome to the party.
You know what I mean? But we are talking about woke individuals. We're talking woke individuals, and our take is that we are #world voices of the future. It hurts me to think about the fact that it is so close in terms of the voting, in terms of Donald Trump winning after, you know what, like the humanitarian element or part of that guy is non-existent, you know. And it says a lot for the majority of Americans in terms of the way of thinking. One thing I'm not going to fault the guy about is that when I look at stats, because stats also talk, since this guy has been in power, there's been an increase of jobs in America. But however, he doesn't have the same take when it comes to human lives.
The man's a businessman. Don't forget that. The guy, he's not a politician. You know, politicians, they sit there, they groom you, they lie to you, they get whatever they need from you. The guy's a businessman. And the one thing I have to respect Trump about is that if he says something, he does it. If he says, I'm going to burn your house down on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, he will burn your house at Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and he does it. And no matter what the consequences are, because he's coming from a background of, he's got a buffer where he knows what he's doing. This is how the deal is going to end up at the end of the day. If you notice, he had COVID. And I said to my mother, I said, Ma, this guy, he's going to be cured next week. And by George, next week, he is cured. He's got no more COVID. You know what I'm saying?
For me, that was the best. That was the best PR stunt.
Do you know what I'm
I've
saying?
ever seen in history.
That was his play.
Yeah,
and because of Biden, what Biden did to him during those the debate that they had, which was quite fun. But that's the kind of person he is. He's a businessman. It's not nice. It's not a nice feeling.
But like, how do we feel about it?
Yeah, I was about to, how do you gents feel when you see Black Americans who actually seem to stand behind Trump?
How you do that, son? How, son?
Uncle Ruckus.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You have a lot of Black people who really feel like Donald Trump has done so much. I forgot this gentleman's name. There's some Black guy who was like, Donald Trump has done so much for America since Abraham Lincoln. And Abraham Lincoln has been, he died a long time ago.
But Abraham Lincoln also had his own,
he had slaves.
No, but he had huge skeletons.
All
of them had. All of them.
Yeah, no one is perfect. We say that. We do understand
no
that.
one is perfect.
I mean, don't even tell me about what you call the father or the founder of the Declaration, and I'm George Washington. Exactly. You know, and you know who actually talks about that quite well? A guy by the name of Dave Chappelle. Can we actually put like what you call this, a timer, not a timer, but like a banner? By the way, this came out right now to all our viewers that this show, The Deep End, the content that you guys are going to be hearing is not suitable for anyone under the ages of 16. It has a lot of profanity and language also, and I don't know, some other things. But we need to just make sure that everyone understands that Deep End is not just for anyone and everyone. We basically voice to that point. Dave Chappelle has once spoke. That guy is a goat. That guy's a goat, and winning the Mark Twain Award just says the most, right? So that guy spoke about this thing about these presidents with what you call this, skeletons in their closets, so to speak. George Washington, and there was an incident, one that he said, it was like, this is what George Washington was saying when he was writing that. To my fellow Americans, every man and every human being was born equally. Now get me some sugar, you nigga. Like, give me some sugar, nigga. There's a narrative behind it, and it's something also that needs to be changed in terms of the institutions that we're currently living in. I mean, this year, man, we saw so much racial slur, you know, coming up and surfacing. I mean, Black Lives Matter movement, the George Floyd incident, you know, right now also that energy coming back to South Africa again with the Brackenfell high school incident also, and it's kind of scary in a way. For the fact that, you know what, I feel like we are moving backwards.
All right, look, I've got to clarify something here because this bugs me. As you were saying, like the bring me sugar, nigga. It's basically do as I say, not as I do. Number one. Number two is that we as African indigenous people, we are not black. Black is the color of my tires.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I cannot.
You see, I can high five.
Okay.
That I can high five.
Yeah.
Now that's real Wakanda.
Yeah.
Learn something, Stan Lee. Or even though I know you.
No, it's Stan.
Don't do this to Stan.
I love him also, but
you know that he wrote.
Who should I blame?
Too soon.
Is it too soon? Okay, fine. But I gotta blame someone that did that movie because that's real Wakanda.
It was his daughter. But anyway, things like that. We are so used to those terms.
Yeah.
Or just to say things like that person's white, that person's black, and it
Mm-hmm.
irks me when you say black. It's I want to hurt somebody, because it allows you to slip other things in, such as we were talking early on in the lobby about Cookie Monster over here. Where his name originated.
I wanted to talk about that, by the way, and how your name originated.
And you know, it's like, the one question, it may have sounded like a joke, but I was like to him, is like, when did it hit you? Like 4 years later, when you were there in the shower, one man, you know, and things like that. Things like that happen. It's happened to me personally. I grew up like that. And it's like,
look, I want to say, because I couldn't get onto it earlier on because we had to come in. It didn't.
And by the way, it's not Tom and Jerry.
It never hit me. It never hit me because to me, it's a really cool name. I don't even see.
I wouldn't mind being called Cookie Monster because of that dirty part. But I understand where, because I also wanted to dive in, because when she walked in and she was like, no, we got the two guys upstairs, you know, Jerry and Koketso, right? Or Kukwano. With Kukwano, whose name is Cookie Monster. I'm like, Cookie Monster. And they explained to me that you got the Cookie Monster name from your teacher who couldn't pronounce your name and gave you Cookie Monster. I'm like, well, Cookie Monster, because I like the fact that any man wants to be called Cookie Monster, like who
already know this man.
But as you said, his teacher cannot pronounce his name,
exactly.
but you, as students, are expected to pronounce your teacher's name.
You see, that's the narrative.
Like, where's the respect in that?
Where's the
common ground?
I understand that.
It doesn't make sense.
So
we are so used to.
I can't give my teacher a nickname. She's older. I can't walk around and be like, yo.
I understand that as a kid, you get that.
Or something.
But you know what? It's like,
deep combos.
And I've walked these streets. I've lived. My family's white, Lebanese.
Lebanese.
And God bless my dad. He did his best. But only later I start to realize, and I notice, and I go back, and I'm like, how dare you say that to me? And I'm meant to sit there and smile at you. As if that's a joke, or is that that's fine for you to do. And then in the same breath, that there are people around there. There are young people. There are young children sitting there. That's why we've got this problem out in what is this, Brackenfell. Because
Brackenfell. That's my school.
Because the thing is that the difference between indigenous African people and Caucasian people, it's the conversations that they have at the dinner table.
Wait. Can I drop the mic? Okay. It's fine. We pay insurance. I'll just make sure that they don't see it in the clip. But anyway, you know why I'm dropping the mic on that? I wanna show people the banner that's basically scrolling at the bottom. Today on the show, on Marvel Streets, the Unconventional Breakfast Show. The question we were asking was that, do we blame the previous generation, right, for programming our minds to dislike other ethnicities?
Yes.
And it goes back to what Jerry was just mentioning right now, is that these are the conversations that happen at the dinner table, right? And I'm going to say one thing in terms of what you're talking about. I understand how deep and how controversial this topic is. But if we're not going to have this topic, who will?
Who will?
How are we going to change the narratives as indigenous Africans, as Caucasians, as Asians, as
just people,
as humans? How are we going to change the narrative if we don't talk about it as the young millennials who are right now basically looking at going forward in terms of what we are trying to do? Because I'm going to tell you one thing.
Okay.
At that school, at Brackenfell High School, that incident should not have happened if the institution of that school was brought in well in terms of what they are doing. That incident, you had pupils from that school who complained, who also wrote that, nah, man, this, you guys are telling us about this. This is the tip of the iceberg and what we receive in the school. Now, it goes back to the institution. Now, for me, it becomes now a government situation now, where I'm talking about the administration now that's been governing this country. Do we say that the Department of Education, it's either lazy, first of all, second of all, they don't have enough staff, but however, the Department of Education should take a blame in terms of these institutions being installed at schools. Because if you read a school's code of conduct, I read my school of law of code of conduct. That's why I got expelled at Alberton High, because I was rebellious. I was rebellious.
Hey, that's rough, yo.
Sure.
I was rebellious. That's why I got expelled at that school. I was rebellious, you know. I read the code of conduct. I love law. There's a lot of things that I love. I love law. I love anthropology. I'm that guy. You know what I mean? I'm that guy that I didn't. You know, I didn't go. Like, for instance, I didn't have to go to UJ to go study psychology or cognitive. What you call this? Sciences.
Thinking.
Cognitive sciences. Yes. What I did was that I took research. Took my mom's encyclopedia. I read about cognitive science. I read about neurology. I'm very equipped when it comes to general knowledge. I can sit down with a guy that's got a degree and I can have a conversation with him because I read out of understanding. You read because you wanted to pass. But when I read the code of conduct, I read the code of conduct because first of all,
you were in trouble and you wanted to find a way out.
Get out of it. Yeah.
But when I was reading it, I'm like,
man,
wait. First of all, this was even spoken. That's not the only school. I know a lot of multiracial schools do that. You need to have neat hair. You cannot have dreadlocks. You cannot. And you look at the rules about the hair, and you're like, but these rules, they stare towards one ethnicity more than the other ethnicity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me hit you up inside your head quickly.
Yeah.
Do you know that left-handed people have got it more difficult than right-handed people on this planet?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Because everything is right-handed.
Yeah.
So now with those rules, it's like, this is wrong. Like when you go to the bank, they ask you on that sheet, are you white? Are you black? Are you what?
Yep.
You know, you are forced.
It's the institution that has brought in that. And that's the narrative that needs to change. This world cannot change if the system of the institution does not change. If you are asked, for me, I would like to go to a ballot or go somewhere when I'm applying. You know, instead of being asked what race, to be asked, are you from Joburg? Are you from Cape Town? Are you from?
What is the purpose of being asked for race anyway?
Like that's the point exactly.
Because we are so race obsessed. That's the problem. It's like if you are South African, go to London, get onto the tube. You say, "Oh man, they hear your accent." Is like from South Africa. Yo, you guys are going through apartheid still. You know, it's like, come, dog, it's hard. It's like, exactly. The thing is that we are so race obsessed that with our little children are just like, crazy thing.
Exactly. They're programmed to be doing that.
You finish high school.
Yeah.
You had a whole bunch of white friends, colored friends, Indian friends at school. And then you finish high school. You go to varsity. You know how friends follow along with All of a sudden, Facebook statements, the guy wrote something messed up. And this is the guy that you used to sit in maths class with. You ate at his dinner table. You're like, you're like, no, how can you say that?
Yeah.
But it's so scary. It's like a herd mentality. Everybody goes their way. It's like all the African people go there. All the Jewish people go there. But why? Are we not all human beings at the end of the day?
Yep. And you know what? With what you said, this, by the way, for those who just joined us, this content that's on the show is only, I'm going to say it again, only for insensitive people or open-minded individuals. I'd rather put it that way. It's for open-minded individuals. If you're open-minded and you understand what we mean when we talk about deep conversations, it's the deep end right now. We are talking things on a deeper level. What you just mentioned right now in terms of we are all humans. I was talking about this on my show. I spoke about it on the revival when I was even asked the question. And I remember also there was a topic, a comment that one of the guys made. I think it was an African guy, an indigenous African guy, making a comment to me about it. Like, bro, how you gonna let everyone get away with that, with what they did to us? I'm like, wait, hold up. They didn't do anything to me. I'll tell you that. Yeah, they probably did something to my mom or my dad, right? But I was taught in a family that I'm not gonna carry my dad and my mom's grudges onto what I'm doing. I've got my own grudge I'm dealing with.
That's the whole. This is why everything is so messed up, because we're the generation who's supposed to come in with a fresh new idea, but we just keep perpetuating this idea onto our kids. I know a lot of people my age, actually my friends, probably some a couple years younger who all talk about how white people put us through such bad predicaments.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, bro, you didn't even experience that. You were born in 98. Like, you were born in 97. There was like years after everything.
And you know what?
You weren't thrown off any beaches.
Exactly. You know what? The problem about that, and I understand also when they come in. Now I'm gonna try to be basically a fence sitter in the situation also, and be and play devil's advocate. Yeah. There are other people that would say that yes, I still live in this newfound world, but I still see racism being flooded onto me by my own peers also. You know what I mean? Where for me it's like, because of the fact that it's the history. That's what I'm talking about. Institution. It's in terms of history. When you look at an education system and you look at the syllabus, they choose what kind of educational system needs to be inflated onto the young ones, when they're growing up. Now, if you look at what you've been taught on history, you were taught parts of history that are more, they're all on race, they are more on hatred, right? But they don't teach, yeah, but exactly. They don't teach the humanitarian part of stories, where they focus maybe a lot on the cradle of humankind.
It's all political.
Where they focus basically on the fact that, do you understand that we all started off here in South Africa, ironically, even the cradle of humankind, you know, where you teach harmoniousness, if that's even a word.
It is.
It's a word now.
It is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they teach harmoniousness amongst different ethnicities and groups, because a Chinese man also has his own perspective about a black person, a white person, and everything like that. An Indian man has a perspective about the other ethnicities. A black man, now we are all segregating each other, and we are trying to say, okay, let's move out of this. My war that I'm fighting in my age, and I feel like it's a war that we're going to be fighting for years now, is basically classism.
Look,
I am telling you,
we can't escape it.
That's what I'm saying. That's a war. That's what I'm saying. That's a war that, if you want to focus your mind on a war that's ongoing, is classism.
How frequent do you guys play on social media?
I try to run away from social media.
I'm there times just to find out like what people are
talking about. There's this meme that people use, right? Of my sister wearing red lips and has a gold tooth, has gold teeth actually. Yeah. So every time someone tweets something ratchet or something out of pocket,
all of a sudden
that meme comes up. Then you know, this is proper top tier classism. It's never gonna end. Like classism is never gonna end.
Yeah. There's a way that we can actually sort this all out. And it's very simple. All we want are the Kusatu minutes. What was discussed at that Kusatu meeting back in the 90s? No, straight up. You know what? Because our white brothers and sisters, their leaders came there, they sat down at their table, they spoke to our brothers, our uncles, our fathers. They all left, the white brothers, mothers, fathers, they left. They went back to their people. And they told their people the truth. This whole land issue, it's so stupid. You know why white people are refusing and they don't want to relinquish the land or whatever? Because that was discussed at their meeting.
What was discussed? We want a minute.
What was said is that, the Africans can take the government, but the only way that the Africans can take the government is if the white people still keep what they have now.
You know,
and the thing is that was discussed. That was agreed. These people went back. Are we talking about the same? Are you talking about the meeting with Margaret Thatcher, Roosevelt? Where to Blanche went back while crazy driving his back through
before that. So because I'm talking about the meeting that opened that. Do you know that meeting?
Yes.
Mandela, Roosevelt, Margaret, and de Klerk.
Yeah, that one. No.
Not that one.
Not that one. The one where to Blanche wants to stop it, where he used his car as Dukes of Hazzard. That's what we're talking about. And that what was discussed and was agreed upon. And why people understand that. And that was the message that they were given. That's why they are so strong in their way to say, but listen, no, this is my land. And you know what? I understand exactly where they're coming from, because that is what they were told. Now, what were we told?
Nothing.
Naran, what were we told? We left in the dark.
Don't know ish about
it. And then we've got the youth, guys who are 16, 17 right now. Hey, give me my land, get off what?
Oh,
kid
do you
doesn't
even know?
understand
Do you
nothing.
even know what's
you know,
cooking,
you
my
know,
boy?
and the problem is that there's no discussions.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are no dinner tables.
Yeah.
There is no discussion on finance. There is no discussion on this is how you meant to go treat
also.
a woman.
Yeah.
There are no discussions.
Yes,
There are no discussions.
You know what?
Nikki's.
You know what? I've got an idea, fellas.
Okay.
I got an idea.
Okay, let's hear this.
And I think maybe it should be something that we need to do. We need to push a campaign called the Dinner Table. And that campaign will basically be solely about educating parents what kind of topics they need to have
with their kids.
with their kids from all ethnicities. The dinner table.
Yeah,
The dinner table.
I mean? We open up that thing. We go. We put lapels. Also, we put the things, and we look at each and every single family in terms of the topics that they're talking about, and we open up that discussion. And I feel like if we can basically take, and if we can do right, we do right in terms of coming up with a proper strategy for it. You know, I think that could basically be one of the first stepping stones in basically changing the narrative,
opening a discussion. Just like you know how difficult it is for an
indigenous
African man to get home from work where he's tired.
Holly mo trafficking then obona motho ba re ka 9 to 5 with the cooler box with the lunch bag.
And you see
that's just catch a bus.
God, that man has to be up at 3 o'clock to go and catch their bus from Soweto to get to Sandton. You know, 3 o'clock in the morning.
He leaves home dark. He gets home
dark.
Guys,
you know, and then his kid says, no, I want a pair of Air Force Ones.
You know
what I'm saying? Well, what do you think, dog?
I'm that kid.
You should go back and spank yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to like you got that look that you are that
come
kid.
back and say, Papa, let me rub your feet or something.
Like exactly. That's why you get your ass beat at times. Because that nigga takes out that frustration on you.
Exactly.
Because of that. It's like, the Air Force. Then you come with a failed report, yeah. You wanna tell me you passed 30%?
Exactly. Papa, I want Air Force Ones. And the poor man even has to ask that stupid question. No, 1.5 fair, you know,
like as if 1.5 is nothing to this guy.
Because I was bad, you don't know 1.5.
So regarding that chat, the dinner table, you know, I feel like a lot of like, you educated me today.
Okay,
I'm gonna tell you that there's one word that I've read about that word, but I forgot to basically even put it up. And as an ingenious African man,
African,
I'm done. I am done using black
You're an
as a because man. You know what? I respect other ethnicities when I say Caucasians, Asians, you know what I mean?
But it's black.
Indigenous African men, an indigenous African family, they don't have the dinner table. Table chat.
I was about to
talk like there's no dinner time.
Because at home it's a come get your plate.
Come get your plate. We all watch TV. No,
exactly.
There's no living room, Papa. Living room, yeah, man. That's why we in the indigenous African family, how can I put it? The normalized way in the indigenous African family. Ne?
Okay.
Living room means leave that room. You know what I mean? Leave that room.
Yeah.
We sit in the lounge room and we watch television programming whilst we are eating. But
not talking.
At Mohammed's household, at Ryan's household, when I've been in those
places, household,
at Shlomi's household, when and also and Anthony, but I don't know how to pronounce Anthony's name in Chinese. Anthony. But I really do not know.
Excuse me, sorry, that was very wrong.
That's messed up, man. That's very. But like Ching Pao's or Jinping.
Get this man out of here.
I'll use Jing. I'll use Jing. Can I use Jing? Because that's a Chinese name.
Okay.
At Jing's house.
Let's go with Jing.
At Jing's house. So let's. I want to show you. the difference.
Yeah.
At Spusiso's house, I got Spusiso. I've got Ryan. I've got Mohammed. I've got you said the guy's name. Come, Jerry. Shlomi. I got Shlomi's household. I got Jing's house, right? Yeah. That is basically the other ethnicities. At these people's households, when it's dinner time, TV is off. We're all sitting
off.
Except in our indigenous African homes, where at TV at dinner time, and which is usually around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you wanna watch Scheme Sam. It's time also, and also the television programming
Why are you
schedule
leading
at that
my
time.
black people to filth like this? Because you literally just started with what everyone talks about on
exactly on Twitter.
On Twitter.
It's we are Jola 99's time. It's all of the trending. It's all of the trending topic. I mean, television programs times.
On Sunday, you properly see black people unite and sit down and watch the same television, because that's when them from date. It's like whoa, from 5:30, it's Idols, and then it's Date My Family, and then it's that show about getting married and stuff like that. And then from 5:30 until 10,
Papa
Santi has black people.
Then you choose. You go to Moja Love, and what I'm trying to say, guys, is that why is it that this is what I'm talking about, the institutionalized way of the system?
Yeah,
it's inner, because one thing I know about black families also, and the majority of them, and especially here in South Africa, is that majority of people that do hard labor are blacks. And Uchaisa, Ubaba Uchaisa on 6 o'clock, and he lives in Soweto, but his father works maybe in, like, I don't know, like the borders of Free State, Kokunstad, you know what I mean? And then he's gonna get home at 8 o'clock. First of all, when he gets home, he's gonna get home at 8 o'clock. When he gets home at 8 o'clock, the mother, it's 11 right now. I like this. It always tells me that it's 11 o'clock, but I really need to shut it out. So the mother is already cooked. Yes, it's either the mother or maybe it's his sister, that made the meal, right? They eat without dad coming because it's Ubaba 8. So they sit there. Dad is not there, first of all. We are not having that chat. We rely on TV to educate us at that moment. Do you understand the importance of that time? That's why it's called dinner time. The importance of 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. Even 8 o'clock is late for having dinner. It's late, Papa. That's when the sun is set. That's when it's nighttime right now. That's a time where your body also, it's an intuitive thing. Your body's in it. It gets into a zone of focus. You must watch yourself. Check yourself. Don't wreck yourself. Watch yourself between 6 and 8 and see what you are doing there. See how focused you are in whatever it is that you are doing. As much as your brain is lazy, but you are focused in that time.
Yeah.
That's where your mind grabs a lot of information between that time.
I'm learning new things today. Like, I thought I was coming to studio, but turns out I'm in class, yo.
No, raise your hand. Yeah.
Tell us, what do you want to be when you grow up?
But okay, this is off chat. Off chat, but I'm gonna tell you what I wanted to be growing up. But about my kids, I wanted to drive taxis.
Is it?
Yeah.
You can still make it.
My dad was so disappointed because he took me to work. There was a bring your child to work. And then all the kids are like, I want to be a pilot. I want to be a cook. And then here comes Luke Utron. What about my kids? And then they were like, why takes? I was like, I'm not about to. I was like, oh, man. Well, yeah, let's go back.
For that stat, basically, those of status and all those kind of things. But I think that's the thing. That's the difference between the educational part of it, because education is not just at school; it is also at home. Because those are the chats that happen. Those are the chats. Because I want to know. That's where your parents ask you. Like, so Jerry, tell me, how was your day today?
I've got the craziest story to tell you.
Yeah.
I was going to the Pick and Pay. When was this? Must have been about 2 years ago. And I was walking out of the Pick and Pay. I live out in this very Jewish neighborhood. Glen Hazel.
Okay. Like
Glen Hazel.
If it's not Glen Hazel or Houghton, I don't know. You know what I mean?
But anyway, there was this young Jewish father with his extremely young, must have been about 3-4 years old daughter, and he's sitting there, kneeling down, speaking to her, and he says to you have to choose one. At your age by now, you should be able to make a choice. Life is not easy. I'm walking past there. I'm walking past there thinking, it's like
power.
I got home and I was thinking to myself, it's
power.
Like, Mara, why are you shouting at the child? Only when I had my own kid, who is 4 now, I was like, I need to have that conversation with that boy.
Yeah.
Advice. Even though he might not understand me now,
he does.
It's something that I'm starting. It's repetition, and you keep on doing that. And it's just like, these are the conversations that they have. There's a thing with these Jewish cats that they do. of saving money. It's the craziest thing. It's called the 5 jars.
The 5 jars are no.
You know about the 5 jars?
I don't know about the 5 jars.
The 5 jars is the most.
The 5 jars, bro.
Well, how old are
the
you
5
now?
jars.
You don't know nothing about.
No. Tell me about the 5 jars.
I'm joking. Okay, the 5 jars,
and it's a biblical thing also.
Okay. Let's say they get $100, right?
Yeah.
That's their allowance.
Mm.
So a portion of it will go into each jar.
Okay.
1 jar will be savings, 1 jar will be spending, 1 jar will be investments. Investments. And with that investments, if you don't touch that, then they make sure your father will make sure at the end of the year he will double it.
Yep.
Whatever's inside that jar, he will double it.
That's it. That's
so if you got $500 in there, his father's gonna go double it, make it 1,000 rand at the end of the year.
And then when are you gonna say Ryan grew up with privileges?
Ryan grew up so good.
It's so good. Meanwhile, Ryan is sitting there and he is actually saving everything. So it's like and there's even another one, tithings.
Okay.
Tithings to the shul.
Yeah.
And then there's another one.
Okay, what's that other one?
The other one is for charity.
Yeah, you need to give back.
You have to give back.
You have to give back.
And and it's
they
that
call
simple.
They call it the giving jar.
Young.
They call it the giving jar, but I forgot like the Hebrew phrase of it. But they call it the giving jar, and you're 110% on it. I mean, if I can tell you something about the human brain and how it works, right? So your mind, right, works on its highest capacity between the ages of 1 and 6. When you are born until you get to the age of 6. You know why?
Because I'm still grasping
cells. No, I wanna.
You're a sponge. Your brain is a sponge.
It's a sponge.
You can speak multi-language. Kids can pick up 5 languages.
Yeah,
exactly.
They can do anything.
So it's a good time to teach
Anything.
kids how to play instruments and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good time to teach children chess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chess is a very important game.
Very important. And regarding that, that's why that's the narrative, guys. Is that how a kid is raised from when they open their eyes, everything that they're going to be listening to, hearing on, everything is going to be institutionalized in their minds.
Yeah.
To the point that all that information will basically cipher of what kind of individual they're going to be. So that builds the foundation. Then after 6, they basically are responsible also of laying the bricks, but they take the mud from society and everything that they are seeing.
They take all the rubbish now. Now they take all their gunk, all the stuff.
You get what I'm saying?
Protecting them, the stuff that you've been preparing yourself to protect them from, which unfortunately it gets chiseled away. It actually doesn't get chiseled. It gets tsunamied away.
To teach them what's right and wrong.
So 6 years is a drop in the ocean.
It's all in their ball game. It's all
6 years is a drop in the ocean, man. I watched that movie. It's the original one.
The
original one.
Like, are you talking about the horror?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one from 1990.
It was 1990.
It was in 1990.
1990. Watched it in a big ass. big.
TV. No, don't worry. There's a disclaimer. We told people.
Big mansion out in Hatton. My boy's aunt's house. And I don't like clowns now.
You don't like clowns?
Yeah, I hate you. But
even till today.
Have you watched that movie?
Yeah, I have both versions, even the second one.
Nah, but you see, it's so easy. My mother was saying to me the other day, did you, Jerry, did you see what happened in Paris, in France? What they did to that man when they beheaded him. And for me, I'm like, people are so used to seeing these kind of visuals. You know, it's like blur for you. You know, it's like you can watch this. It's like I don't have a TV. I haven't had a TV in about 4 or 5 years because all I do is just stream everything. And
who doesn't, man?
All these streaming services, even though that it is Halloween now, but like for the last 2 years, I've noticed it's all horror movies. You don't find anything that is family orientated. You have to look for it. But like you click first page, horror. Next page, you just get 20 horror movies. And it's like, but why do you want to...
I'm on to you as a man who also studied how to make music. It's a money thing. Not everyone goes to studio. Not everyone goes to the movies to go watch a a rated family movie,
Yeah,
but
no,
I would love,
okay,
I would spend
yeah,
a
no, no,
bag
no,
on a
check.
movie where someone is, losing their
You say,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. You say it's a money thing. So obviously there's a market for it. Clearly there's a market for it.
Yeah.
Why is there a market for it? How sick are you to sit there and watch people stab each other and chisel each other? And it's like,
you
what's
see
wrong
what
with
Jerry's
you?
asking. Name.
Yeah.
There's a subject that I did back then in 2000, because 2010 I did my first year in at Boston Media House.
Yeah.
There was this guy Ricky Rousseau,
Yeah.
who
because honestly, 2010, I was like grade 8. Like, yo, hey, what's up? This guy's doing his first year. He's a grown man. But
so what they taught us at Media House and it's one of the things that you're taught in media also. And they taught us modern culture. And in modern culture, there's something also, another subject also called communication sciences. Right, that they teach us also communication science. You have to do it. It's compulsory in your first year. You have to do it. And in modern culture, they teach you basically how the human brain works and how modern society works, so that you are able to manipulate it. In order for you to be able to manipulate, in media, man, like media is the biggest manipulator of everything. We are like the gatekeepers. I'm not gonna front about it. That's why I'm like, every time I'm like, with this platform, I feel like my responsibility is far bigger than me.
It's powerful media.
Because of that. It's and it's ironic because it's the same thing that I was saying when I was at Media House, when I was talking to Carl Kekeles. I'm like, my man, I wanna dive into this industry so much that I can have my own platform so I can expose the industry.
Hectic. So cool.
I won't be a snitch.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not being a
snitch, but I want to tell the truth.
Like I want to tell the truth about basically what happens, and also I want to use the platform for truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you go 10 years now you fast forward 10 years. I've worked in the industry. I did voiceovers at Universe. I've did like voiceovers for international gigs. Made Kwab, spent the Kwab as much as I made the Kwab. Went into radio, did the most in radio, did advertising, worked for an advertising agency, did the most there. And the narrative has always been the same. Whenever we come up with a strategy, it's like, what are people thinking right now? And what's the next step forward? Because in media, what people didn't know is that we plan 3 months ahead of you. So we already know the trend that you are going to go crazy over.
That's why Facebook is doing what they're doing.
You know what I mean? And now the narrative now has become a bit of a change now, because now with social media marketing, digital marketing, which is something also that I did, is that because of search engine optimization, for those who don't know what it means, it's called SEO, right? Search engine optimization means that the words that you put onto Google are the ones that are going to surface first. What is going to surface first? So they teach us those kind of things, right? So the content that you're going to be bringing in there. So content is also the biggest fighter in it. You know what I mean? So what we are taught is that on social media, right, there's something called programmatic. You know what I mean? So if you go maybe, for instance, to Pornhub, right? And you tune on to porn, when you're going to go to another site, they're going to give you something that has to do with porn.
The cookie's following you.
The cookie follows you.
The cookie follows you.
Ting! You know what I mean? The cookie follows you, right? So when it comes to social media now, and you're looking at things like Twitter and stuff like that, that's why Twitter is untapped, but also still tapped in terms of like its genuineness. Right. But the one that's not tapped is one that's called Black Twitter. The reason why Black Twitter is not tapped, right, is because they take all of the tweets that they don't want to surface up to the rest, and they put it into that group.
This man talking facts. This man talking. This man a lot.
You know what I mean?
Talking truth.
He's talking truth.
You know what I mean? So that goes to the take also of what you are referring to in terms of like it's the programming structure of it, in terms of the media being responsible of it, to the point that if you think that right now you are basically living a free private life,
you are not.
Think again.
Far from it.
For the fact that you have Google, and just having Google, forget the other apps. If you have a phone that has Google, it's chai.
If you've got a Google account,
I'm assuming we all have Netflix here, right?
It's chai.
Have you all seen the show The Social Dilemma? where they talk about how
I've seen it pop up, but I've never clicked on it.
please watch it.
Yeah.
Because everything that you think you're doing on your phone, you're not doing because of you. There's someone who already told you you're gonna do it. You know? Like,
we live in our own prisons. We live in our own prisons, which we built ourselves with our own hands.
So you know what's the nice, you know what's the nice thing about what you just mentioned right now. So I want people to think about a lab rat.
So it's in the same spot.
You know what I mean? Think about a lab rat in a laboratory, and you are basically teaching it semiotics. You know, you're doing semiotics basically. So you're trying to teach basically encoding and decoding of information. That's why you live in an information age, right? So what you were talking about is that it's called digital hypnotism. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's the one flash photography.
But it's called it's digital hypnotizing of the human brain. When you are saying that part that you are talking about, when you are saying that they already know what you are going to do. You know what I mean? Because they're feeding you the information already. So your brain already taps into that information, and unconsciously
you think you came up with the idea.
And it's the CIA, I tell you. It's the CIA that came up and did this. I'm telling you, you have no idea. You guys think I'm crazy.
You know what? And I'm not trying to make this into a huge conspiracy thing, because we need to move, man. But I'm not going to try and make it this thing conspiracy thing. But I was telling people, and I was telling individuals also about this thing, that Donald Trump in his last 2 months, in the last 2 days, even in this last 2 months, the decisions that he's making military defense decisions. First of all, he's taking out. He fired a guy in the Pentagon. Second of all, he's firing the director, 2 directors, the director of the FBI and the director of the CIA. Whoever is going to put into those seats,
it's people.
And also, do not forget what he did with the Supreme Court judge. He made that lady the Supreme Court judge. Right now, he's fighting a case. Guys, you guys want to see flames, guys. This guy is...
World Health Organization said that the world should prepare for what Donald Trump's going to do, because he still has 10 days before he's no longer president. So they were like, yo, this guy could like just burn the whole world in the next 10 days.
Dude, Donald Trump's cousin, Donald Trump's lawyer, they both wrote a book. Her cousin says that my family gave birth to the monster. She was expressing how Donald Trump grew up. Read that memoir.
It's his niece. Yeah, his niece.
Read that memoir. Read that book. That woman says that the family gave birth to the world's biggest disaster.
No, he's deep there. He's deep. But gentlemen, before we leave, because
we have to leave. We have to leave now. We have to leave.
Even calling now. But I've got to drop this one.
This one,
especially for you.
Yeah, man. I don't know what I did.
Who do you think is the greatest football player in the last 20 years? In the last 20 years.
20 years. Yeah, 20 years. If you're saying 20 years, I'm sorry, it's Lionel Messi.
What did I say? What did I say?
How do you keep
in the last 20 years?
There's only one vote in this world.
In the last 20 years, if I'm talking about that, that's the guy.
Is that the guy?
Yeah.
Is that the guy?
And please don't I don't say Ronaldinho. He's good.
He was about to talk about Ronaldinho.
He is. Ronaldinho is good. Ronaldinho is good. Like, wait, listen. Don't quit. Come down, sit down. Come down, sit down. Come down, sit down. Yes, 7 minutes left, right? Come down, sit down. I like. Don't sulk, my boy. Don't worry.
No, you guys don't understand.
Let me tell you.
Have you seen what that man used to do to grown men when he was?
I know.
5 years old.
But listen, let me speak, Papa. Let me speak, Papa. Papa Jerry. Papa Jerry. You asked me a question about my opinion on that, and I'm gonna tell you how I based my conclusion.
Not stats. We don't want to go stats.
What's the point of football if we're not?
Let's talk. It's called the beautiful game.
I saw like another clap was about to come. The goddamn man, we ain't talking about that thing. Come on, man, wake up.
Can you do?
I thought a slap was coming there for a moment. Like, I don't want to be in debate classes with this guy. But anyway, what I'm saying is that you are right about one thing. I can tell you one thing. Ronaldinho is one of the greatest, man. And what I'm going to say is that we wouldn't have Messi if it wasn't for Ronaldinho. Because if you watch both of their documentaries, right? At the end of Ronaldinho's documentary, the person that he says that this person would learn the skills of how I love football onto this person. And Messi saying that if it wasn't for this man, I wouldn't have. If you look at Ronaldinho, the way, man, I was a Barcelona fan from way back. I was a Ronaldinho fan when in 2002. That's when I was introduced to Ronaldinho. You were not born in 2002.
I am not that young. For reference,
I was introduced. I want to
reference.
Jerry. Maybe this might give you a directive. In 2002, I was introduced to Ronaldinho in the FIFA World Cup, right? When that guy went in as a sub, yes, against England.
A sub.
As a sub. I didn't know about him. I didn't know about PSG. I wasn't. Yes, 5 minutes is a long time. I wasn't fortunate enough that I had Mnet. I wasn't fortunate enough that I could watch the other leagues. You know what I mean? At that time, we were given what SAPC 1 gave us. You know what I mean? But I saw Ronaldinho that day. And when he came into the field, and at that time, that's when Zidane was doing the most also. Mind you.
When he was
trap
chesting, when he trap chesting balls, like there were magnets to his nipples.
And
no, you saw that.
Do you understand Roberto Carlos? You know Roberto Carlos's shot? Roberto Carlos. That guy will kick a ball and it will fly. Zidane was the only person that could test a pass from that guy and it will go down. So, despite that, at that time, Zidane and Ronaldo were the stars of the world. People didn't know about Ronaldinho at that time.
Didn't know about the.
I didn't know about Ronaldinho and the Joga Bonita things and what. But when that guy came into that scene, I look at players making a first touch. That's my first touch.
Can't play.
When they passed this guy and he trapped, I still remember I was watching it with my friend.
It was like
Le. And then after that, I became a fan of that guy. That's when I was introduced to Barcelona, because I followed that guy, and I was like, this guy is going to a club called Barcelona. I'm like, Barcelona. When I got to Barcelona, I saw other players also in Barcelona, where I was introduced to other players. You know what I mean?
Europe,
and with Lionel Messi, my guy, if the guy you are saying is the greatest, saying himself with his own lips, saying that the greatest player that's ever been on the pitch is Lionel Messi. If he says that, who am I?
Because my man is so humble. That's how good he is. He's like, you know what? My children play.
This man's being emotional.
This man's
being emotional.
That is the man.
He's being emotional.
I wouldn't lie, he is the man. But for me, for the past 20 years, not even to 20 years,
that guy actually lose the ball
in a long time. No, I haven't.
He doesn't lose the ball.
I have. That's why I was a fan.
The ball. He loses the ball on himself. That's how good he is.
Have you seen Messi? The ball sticks to his foot. The ball sticks to his foot. You can't even drop the guy.
Granted, I will say Messi. You know, I'm not even gonna lie to myself, dog. I can't lie to myself.
Yeah,
I don't like Messi.
I
just don't like Messi.
That's why your decision is
so no.
Because
you don't like it.
I just
6 golden balls.
Guys. Football's in.
That guy has
that guy has made for money.
Yeah, I understand. But
that's why I don't like them.
That guy had made football so nice for us that in the past times when Messi has been gracing the field, Brad, like even coaches, but I'm saying we can't have legends speak about him so highly. And then who are we?
Up, be like, yo, look.
Who are we? Jerry, I think this is when the deep ends right now.
We went way deep. But that was
Thank you very much, guys. That was fun. Yeah. Jerry, where can people follow you if they want to follow you?
Just Jay and White Walker.
Oh, that's so original.
Yeah, just Jay and White Walker on Insta, Twitter. Where else are we? Yeah, Insta and Twitter.
All right.
And but I stay away from social media because of you know how they follow and trap you. They're gonna sell me a house to each other. I just don't want to.
I love my social media.
Yeah.
Can catch me on Twitter at @KMyLebe_.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram it's CookieXNike. And
where does Nike come in?
I'm trying to work for Nike. I'm really trying to work for Nike, so hence why.
You know what's the ironic thing? The brand manager is my best friend.
Please,
I'm joking. He's not my best friend. He's just my.
Why would you tell me dreams like this?
He was at Oscar. He was here yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
So I missed him by like a day.
Yep.
24
He can come
hours.
back. He can come back. He can come
Just
back.
shout out your size, dog. 8.5. Fair. That's it. You're done.
Ladies, it doesn't say anything about him, okay?
You know what they say about men with big feet? Ha ha! They wear big socks. Ha! Got you, got it.
That's how we end it, man. Cheers, guys. Nice show, guys.